She said she'd fallen out of love. I found the messages with her coworker. I waited until their company merger went live, then sent the screenshots to the press. She said it on a Sunday morning over coffee. I've fallen out of love with you. We were in our kitchen, sunlight streaming through the window, the smell of French roast hanging in the air. 6 years together, engaged for 8 months. I set down my mug. What? I don't feel it anymore, she said, not looking at me. I think we should end things. My chest went tight. Is there someone else? No. Quick. Defensive. I just need to be honest with myself. With us. I sat there, watching her stir sugar into coffee she never drank sweet. Okay, I said. She looked surprised, like she'd expected me to beg. Okay? If that's how you feel. The kitchen was quiet. The refrigerator hummed. A car passed outside. Everything felt normal and completely wrong at the same time. She kept stirring her coffee, around and around. The spoon clinked against the ceramic. I'm sorry, she finally said. I nodded. She moved out that week, took her clothes, her books, half the furniture, the bookshelf we'd bought together, the lamp from her grandmother, the throw blankets she'd collected. I helped her pack, calm, polite, like we were roommates parting ways, carried boxes to her car, held the door open, made small talk about the weather. She kept saying she was sorry, that she hoped we could stay friends, that this was for the best. I just nodded. You're being so mature about this, she said, loading the last box. No point making it harder, I said. She hugged me. I stood there with my arms at my sides. Take care of yourself, Drew, she said. You too. I watched her drive away, stood in the driveway until her car disappeared around the corner. Then I went inside. The apartment was half empty, gaps on the shelves, missing furniture, echo when I walked. I sat on the couch, stared at the wall. 6 years, gone in a week. After she left, I couldn't sleep, lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying everything, looking for signs. When did she fall out of love? A month ago? 6 months? A year? Had she been lying when she kissed me goodnight? When she said yes to the proposal? When she talked about wedding venues and honeymoon destinations? I kept replaying the conversation. Her face, her tone, something was off. The way she'd said no when I asked if there was someone else. Too quick, too defensive. The way she wouldn't look at me. The way she'd wanted out so fast. Then I remembered her laptop. We'd always shared devices, passwords, accounts. She'd never changed hers, never had a reason to. I opened it the next night, hands shaking, went to her messages, and there it was. Months of texts with someone named Marcus, her coworker, the one she'd mentioned a few times. Just a friend from the office. The messages started casual. Hey, great meeting today. Thanks for the coffee. Then flirty. You looked really good in that suit. Can't stop thinking about what you said. Then explicit. I can't stop thinking about you. Last night was incredible. When can we do that again? I scrolled back, found the timeline. It started 4 months ago, right when she'd gotten busy with work, when she'd started staying late at the office, when she'd started going in on weekends. The night we were supposed to look at wedding venues, she'd canceled, said there was a deadline, an emergency project. She'd been with him. The night she came home at midnight smelling like wine and cologne, said it was a work dinner. She'd been with him. The weekend she went to that conference in San Francisco, she'd been with him. I sat there, hands shaking, reading message after message, photos, videos, plans to meet, hotels, restaurants, everything we'd been planning for our future. She'd been living with him. Then I saw the recent ones. The merger goes live next month. After that, we can finally be public. Can't wait. No more hiding. I love you so much. Love you more. The merger. Her company was merging with a competitor. Big deal. She'd been talking about it for months. How it would be good for her career. How she might get promoted. Marcus was the VP at the other company. I closed the laptop, took a breath. My hands were still shaking. My vision blurred. I wanted to scream, to throw something, to call her and tell her I knew everything, but I didn't. I sat there in the dark, thinking. Then I started planning. Over the next 3 weeks, I stayed quiet, didn't contact her, didn't respond to her checking-in texts, the ones where she asked how I was doing, if I was okay, if I needed anything. But I was documenting everything. I took screenshots of every message, every photo, every conversation, organized them by date, created a timeline, made it clear and undeniable. I found out Marcus was married, 2 kids. His wife's Instagram was full of family photos, beach vacations, birthday parties, anniversary dinners, happy family, perfect life. All while he was sleeping with my ex-fiancée. I researched the merger, read every article, every press release, found out both companies had strict ethics policies about workplace relationships, especially between executives, especially between companies in the process of merging. Found out Marcus had signed a morality clause when he became VP. Any scandal, any ethics violation could void his position, cost him his job, his reputation. I saved it all in a folder, labeled it evidence, organized by date and relevance, made backup copies, cloud storage, external drive. Then I waited. The merger announcement was scheduled for October 15th, big press conference, both CEOs, all the executives, including my ex and Marcus. It would be streamed live, reported in every business publication, Wall Street Journal, Forbes, Business Insider. This was their moment, the culmination of a year of work, the biggest deal either company had ever made. The week before, she texted me, "Hey, I know this is random, but I wanted you to know I'm seeing someone. I hope Hope that's okay. I stared at the message. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. I wanted to tell her I knew, that I'd known for weeks, that I knew everything, but I didn't. That's great. I'm happy for you. She sent back a heart emoji. Thanks. That means a lot. You're such a good person. I smiled. Set down my phone. Opened my laptop. October 15th came. I woke up early, made coffee, the same French roast we used to drink together. Sat at my desk, opened my laptop, found the contact info for 3 major business journalists who'd be covering the merger. Reporters who specialized in corporate scandals, ethics violations, executive misconduct. Wrote a simple email. Subject: ethics violation at today's merger announcement. Thought you should know about an ethics violation involving 2 executives at today's merger announcement. Screenshots attached. I attached everything. The messages, the photos, the timeline showing exactly when their affair started. Marcus's morality clause, his wife's Instagram, my ex's company ethics policy. I included context. How they'd been having an affair for months while negotiating the merger. How it violated both companies' policies. How they'd been hiding it until after the merger went public. How Marcus was married with 2 kids. How they'd lied to everyone. My finger hovered over send. This was it. Once I pressed this button, there was no going back. Her career would be over. His career would be over. His marriage would be over. The merger might even fall apart. I thought about her face. The way she'd said, "I've fallen out of love with you." The way she'd lied. The way she'd moved on while I was still planning our wedding. I pressed send. All 3 journalists. Sent at 8:47 a.m. The press conference started at 10. I turned on the live stream at 9:55. The conference room was packed. Cameras everywhere. Reporters in rows. Both CEOs at a podium with company logos behind them. My ex stood off to the side in a navy suit. Hair perfect. Makeup flawless. Smiling. Professional. Marcus next to her. Gray suit. Red tie. Also smiling. They looked so confident. So sure of themselves. So happy. The CEOs started talking. Merger benefits. Growth projections. Synergy. Market share. The usual corporate speak. I sipped my coffee. Watched the clock in the corner of the screen. 10:15. 10:20. Then, at 10:23, I saw it. One of the journalists I'd emailed stood up, raised his hand, interrupted the presentation. "Excuse me, but I've just received information about an ethics violation involving 2 executives present today. Can you comment on the relationship between," he named them, my ex's name, Marcus's name. The room went silent. Every camera swung toward them. My ex's face drained of color. Marcus froze mid-smile. The CEO looked confused, irritated. "What are you talking about?" The journalist held up his phone. "I have documented evidence of a months-long affair between these 2 executives. Explicit messages, photos, a timeline showing they violated your company's relationship disclosure policy and engaged in a relationship while negotiating this merger." Another journalist stood, the second one I'd emailed. "We received the same information, including evidence that Mr. Marcus signed a morality clause specifically prohibiting this type of conduct." A third journalist stood. "The source also included information that Mr. Marcus is married with 2 children. Can you comment?" The room erupted, cameras flashing, reporters shouting questions, the live stream chat exploding with thousands of comments. My ex looked like she was going to be sick. Marcus's face went from pale to red. The CEO's face hardened. He looked at Marcus, at my ex. "Is this true?" Marcus started stammering. It's not, this is..." My ex just stood there, mouth open, silent. The CEO stepped away from the podium, whispered something sharp to his assistant. Security moved toward Marcus and my ex. The cameras kept rolling. One journalist called out, "How long has this been going on?" Another, "Were you together during merger negotiations?" Another, "What does your wife think about this, Mr. Marcus?" Marcus held up his hands, trying to deflect, to explain, but there was nothing to say. The evidence was out there, public, undeniable. The CEO returned to the podium, his jaw tight. "This press conference is over. We'll be investigating these allegations immediately. Thank you." He walked off. Security escorted Marcus and my ex out through a side door. The cameras followed them, shouting questions, flashing lights. My ex's face was buried in her hands. Marcus was trying to shield his face. The feed cut out. I sat back, set down my coffee, took a breath. Within an hour, it was everywhere. Business Insider, merger announcement derailed by executive affair. Scandal Forbes, ethics violation rocks. Major corporate merger Wall Street Journal, VP caught in affair. During merger negotiations, both executives suspended. My phone started buzzing. Unknown numbers, text messages, emails, reporters asking for comment, asking if I was the source, asking for my side of the story. I turned it off. That evening, my ex called from a different number. I let it go to voicemail. "Drew, please, I know it was you. You ruined my life, my career, everything. How could you do this? How could you be so cruel? I made a mistake, but this is..." Her voice broke. "Please, call me back. We need to talk. Please." I deleted it. 2 hours later, another voicemail. "You destroyed everything. Everything I worked for. Do you understand that? My job, my reputation. Marcus lost his job. His wife left him. His kids kids won't talk to him. You did this. You ruined lives because you couldn't handle a breakup like an adult. I deleted that one too. The next morning, articles were still coming out. Interviews with company insiders, statements from the CEOs, Marcus's wife filing for divorce. My ex's company announced she'd been placed on indefinite administrative leave pending investigation. Marcus was terminated immediately for violating his morality clause. The merger was delayed indefinitely. My phone kept buzzing. More reporters, more requests for comment. I didn't answer. A week later, I got a letter from her lawyer threatening to sue for defamation, for intentional infliction of emotional distress, for invasion of privacy. I forwarded it to my own lawyer. He called me an hour later. They have no case. Everything you sent to those journalists was true, documented, verifiable. Truth is an absolute defense, and you didn't invade her privacy. She left her laptop with you and never asked for it back. You're fine. Good, I said. Do you want me to respond? No. Let them waste their money if they want. They never filed. 2 months later, I saw her at a coffee shop. Not our coffee shop, a different one, across town. She was sitting alone, laptop open, staring at the screen. She looked tired, older. Her hair was shorter, no makeup. She saw me. Her face went pale. I walked past her to the counter, ordered my coffee. When I turned around, she was standing behind me. Drew, she said quietly. I looked at her. I just want you to know, she said. I'm sorry for everything, for lying, for cheating, for hurting you. I nodded. Okay, I know what you did was, I know you were angry. I understand, but it destroyed my life. You destroyed your own life, I said. I just made sure people knew about it. I lost everything. So did I. She stood there, eyes filling with tears. I loved you, she said. I know you don't believe that, but I did. I picked up my coffee. No, I said. You didn't. I walked past her, out the door, into the cold morning air, and I didn't look back.